Hello everybody. In this video, we will try to understand how Ketu in the ninth house of your horoscope would impact your life. In Vedic astrology, the ninth house is known as the house of dharma, basically. Means how much righteous you are, how much principled you are. That is going to be decided by the ninth house. Ninth house is the house of rules and house of principles. How much a native would follow the rules and principles in his life is decided by the ninth house of the horoscope. Not only that, your higher learning, especially in modern studies, you would say your post-graduation or your PhD program, means Doctor of Philosophy, all these things. These are mainly related to ninth house. If your ninth lord is debilitated, or your ninth house has some malefic energy, or your ninth house has a debilitated planet, you can see that you would expect some delays if you're opting for PhD and post-graduation programs. And ninth house is the house of philosophy, house of religion, spiritual wisdom. It's the house of wisdom, basically. That's where Jupiter is the natural karaka of this ninth house. He is even in the natural zodiac, you can observe Sagittarius is the general ninth house sign, right? Of course, based on your horoscope, based on your ascendant, ninth house can be any sign. But I'm telling you generally, right? Even your long distance travel from your homeland, how much far you can travel, how much travel you travel in your life, that is all decided by the ninth house. So ninth house is long distance travel, whereas third house is your short distance travel, as we discussed in our previous videos. So ninth house is long distance travel. It's also related to your pilgrimage experiences and your fortune. Ninth house is also called as house of luck. And ninth house represents teachers, gurus, and all. And ninth house mainly represents a mutual relationship with your father. So what kind of relationship you would have with your father, right? Both mutual relationship. And your luck, your ethics, your righteousness, and even ninth house is also called as your punya sthana, or the house of punya. Punya means the positive fruits that you have in your karmic account. So according to Vedic astrology, everybody has a karmic account. So this karmic account has two sections. One is punya, another one is papa. Punya means all the good deeds, right? The gains of your good deeds, I can say. And papa means the kind of karmic baggage you accumulated because of your unethical deeds for overall lives, overall births. So according to Vedic astrology, everybody has so many number of births. It's not that you have only one life. Vedic astrology never believe it. Even Sanatana Dharma, or in modern days we say Hinduism, it strongly believes, and it's not belief, it is actually the pillar of Sanatana Dharma is everybody has so many births, right? So that's where you can observe in the lot of Puranas, lot of Vedic literature also you would see so on so forth. Even Vishnu, Lord Vishnu, take Lord Vishnu, he took birth as Lord Krishna and then he took birth as Lord Rama. Like this, you have so many stories, right? So basically this, we say Punarjanma. Punarjanma means taking birth again. This is one of the fundamental pillars of Sanatana Dharma or Hinduism, we say. Right? So Hinduism strictly believes that everybody has so many births, not a single birth. And you can find ample of stories where a person is taking birth in one birth as one kind of a person, and based on the deeds that he does in that particular life, he takes birth as in a different form, in a different as a different person in some other birth. And this is a very common thing in almost all the Vedic literature or almost all the Puranic stories. Right? Not only the godly figures like Vishnu is taking the form of Rama or Krishna or Parshurama or any other form, but there are so many people take a different form in different lives. So basically, Punarjanma or reincarnation or taking birth again is one of the fundamental pillars of Sanatana Dharma. Right? And how a person takes birth depends upon his account, his karmic account. So every birth, let us say a person takes a birth as person A, and now person A life is started. Now he does some kind of karmas, right? So every karma has a result, right? Every karma has a karmic fruit. If you're doing good karma, then it will give good fruits. If you're doing bad karma, it gives bad fruits. Then if you're doing good karma, then all the good fruits are added to your karmic account under the section of punya, right? And if you're doing bad deeds, then that particular bad deeds result is added to your karmic account under the section papa or sins, we say. Right? Punya is good deeds, papa is bad deeds. Getting it? So now your birth is over. Now let us say you in your karmic account under the section punya, you have, let us say, some 500 points, and now under papa you have 300 points, right? Now 500 positive points, 300 negative points, 500 positive fruits, 300 negative fruits. That's your birth 1, right? Done. Now as you have some karmic baggage here, karmic balance here, because what is the balance? 500 positive fruits, 300 negative fruits. Now the nature or the god or you take anything now takes randomly some fruits from the punya and papa, right? With both the hands. With one hand, let us say with right hand, he takes all the positive fruits, some of the positive fruits, and with left hand he takes some of the negative fruits, and clubbing all of them gives you another birth. Now you have to be responsible for your fruits, can be positive or negative. What if your papa section, that is sin section or the bad deed section, has more fruits? Generally when they take fruits, you would get more number of papa fruits, the sins fruits. So you have to be responsible for all of them. So I would be saying with right hand he would take positive fruits and with left hand he would take negative fruits. Instead of that one, you can take it as with, let us say, with both the hands, right? Let us say clubbing together all the positive fruits and negative fruits, clubbing together with both the hands, God takes some of the fruits, and in that there would be some positive fruits and negative fruits, because it's very, very random. Let us say if you have more negative fruits, generally when you take a bowl where you have some good fruits and some stale fruits, right? But let us say you have more stale fruits and very less good fruits, then the moment you take some fruits with both of your hands, you can see more stale fruits in your hands, right? So if you do more papa or more sins or more bad deeds, then yes, the next birth you should be responsible for all those negative fruits. You have to experience all of them, because those are your fruits. Nobody would experience your fruits. You are responsible for all of that. You are responsible for your karmic balances and karmic accounts and all, right? So that is the fundamental theme of Sanatana Dharma, right? So taking birth again, reincarnation or punarjanma is the fundamental, it is the pillar. So if there is no reincarnation concept, it's a kind of, there is no, and then 90% of, this Hinduism is gone. If you don't believe, if you are a Hindu and if you're not believing in, if you are a Sanatani or you are following Sanatana Dharma and if you're not believing in Punarjanma, then you're not a true Sanatani. You're not a true Hindu. This is a fundamental thing, right? Now, so your past life merits, your past life punyas are actually related to your ninth house. So, when Ketu, the planet of detachment, mysticism, past life karma, and spiritual liberation, the detachment and separation is placed in the ninth house, it definitely creates some complex blend of spiritual insight and confusion related to the ninth house. You definitely have something related to your past life karma is very much associated with ninth house because Ketu is in your ninth house. So the moment Ketu is in your ninth house in your horoscope, if you check it, your natal horoscope, I am telling it, right? Your birth chart, the moment you observe, yes, you took your birth chart and you observed, okay, when I was born, Ketu was in my ninth house. That means definitely you have karmic past or karmic baggage associated with all these ninth house related matters, especially your faith, your belief, or your relationship with this dharma, your father, your teachers, your gurus, your luck, your ethics, your higher learning, and all the stuff, right? So Ketu in the ninth house often indicates a past life deeply connected to religious or spiritual practices, right? According to Vedic astrology, if Ketu is placed in the ninth house of your horoscope, definitely you have some deeply connected religious practice in your past life. Deeply connected spiritual practice in your past life, no other doubt. But now, what the soul wants? The soul wants freedom from these rigid beliefs and needs to discover truth through personal experience rather than just a tradition. Right? So that's where this detachment of Ketu is coming into the picture. Ketu is saying, hey, you already experienced all this belief system, religion, all this, the practices, the religious practices, traditional practices, your rigid beliefs, your rules, principles, you experienced all of them in your previous life, your past life, right? Now it's time to seek the real truth. Just following some rigid beliefs, just having some rigid faiths and all the stuff, right? All the traditional belief and all. I am fed up with all those things. Now in this life, you have to, seek the truth through your personal experience rather than just following some tradition or religion or something. Those religious practices and traditional belief system you had in your past life, that's enough. You already had access. And what can you achieve with them? Were you able to seek the truth in your past life by that? No, just you followed some, traditional belief system. You followed some rigid belief system, some religion. That's it. Now this is the time for you to seek the truth in the universe. What is the truth in the universe? Please try to seek it, and I will make you to seek it. Right? That is what Ketu is saying here. So it can make the native, skeptical of organized religion, but deeply drawn towards the true spiritual essence. What is the truth? Instead of just following some religion, right? Whether you might be having some doubts in that religion, but still you're following very blindly. Instead of following those rigid rules, I want you to know the truth. I want the real truth. I want you to seek the true spiritual essence instead of just following some rules of some religion or some belief system. That's what Ketu is telling here. Because you already did it in the past life. Now again, what are you going to do? You watched that movie 100 times, and why you want to watch it again? That's what Ketu is saying. So Ketu in the ninth house, if you observe, first we'll try to talk about the spirituality and religious belief system that you have. You know, Ketu in the ninth house indicates the strong inner spiritual orientation but distract or detach from religion. He doesn't want you to just follow some rules, just follow some religious belief system. He doesn't want you to do that because you already experienced it in your past life. Now you want the strong inner spiritual orientation. And it also make the native, when Ketu is in the ninth house, the native may reject some traditional or inherited belief system because you already experienced it. That's what I'm telling it. So the native seeks unconventional paths like yoga, mysticism, occult, right? Now he wants the true essence. See, this yoga, occult sciences, these are all, of course, these are all part of the Vedic systems, but they are not related to any belief system. So that's why we say the Sanatana Dharma is a kind of, it's, of course, it is basically, it is claimed to be a religion kind of thing by some of the people, but it is not at all a religion. It is one of the ways where you can seek that real truth, right? So generally, the people, they don't want to attach them to a particular religion, but they want to know the truth. Okay, this is yoga. Yoga has some essence. Yoga is working on your inner element somewhere, right? So let's observe what is happening in yoga. Am I able to spiritually, or really, am I able to find some real essence, right? So that kind of ideology the Ketu and the ninth house people would have. They generally seek unconventional paths like this yoga or mysticism or occult sciences, that they want to know the truth basically. They just don't want to attach to some religion or some belief system. That's what I want to tell. And they may become agnostic. They may want to be a very, very free thinker, a spiritual rebel, I can say. A spiritual rebel. Just following some rules. No, I'm fed up with all these rules. Don't want to follow any rules. Tell me the truth. Why are you telling some rules? I'm asking you the truth, and you're telling some story. You're telling some, you're telling about some religious rules, right? What is this? They may question like this. I'm fed up. Already I experienced it long time. Why are you doing it again? So they may behave like a spiritual rebel. They are the free thinkers. And the native experiences spiritual breakthroughs after periods of confusion or loss of faith. Right? So they may lose faith in the religion that they follow, or they may come out of their religion, although they don't want any religion. Please, I'm fed up with all the rules. I want the truth. Right? They are like, I want the truth. Of course, I follow yoga, I follow occult science, but don't attach me to so and so religion. Don't attach me to Hinduism or so and so religion. Don't attach me to any religion, please. These rules, I don't want to follow rules. I want the real truth. I want the real principles. Kind of. So if you observe the higher education or philosophy, all these things of that particular native, there is a possibility that the native may face interruptions, breaks, or disinterest in formal education as well. Right? So the higher education would be disturbed when Ketu is present, it's possible. Another possibility is they may prefer experimental learning over academic knowledge. Instead of studying thousands and thousands of books, they may ask, what is the use of, you know, studying so many books? They would be rebel also. Sometimes they may say, okay, what is the use of studying these 100 books? And this studying these 100 books is equivalent to studying some random papers which are falling on the road. I'm going on the road, there's so much of garbage, so many papers. If I read all that garbage, if I read all those papers on the road, what kind of knowledge I get? The same kind of knowledge I would get by reading all these thousands of books. I don't want all this rubbish. I want the experimental learning. I want the truth. Right? So this is a kind of rebellism based on the Ketus. Ketu is in the 9th house. And what about the sign lord's placement? The sign lord is placed in a very, very, strong nakshatra. They would become even more rebel. They would be, let us say, the 9th house has Ketu. The 9th lord is in the Vishakha nakshatra. Then just imagine the kind of obsession they may have towards truth is in the next level. And there is another possibility that they may excel in spiritual philosophy, metaphysics, and some kind of esoteric sciences. This is another possibility. And let's talk about the foreign travel, because 9th house indicates the long distance travel, which is nothing but the foreign travel, or let us talk about the pilgrimage. There is a possibility that foreign travels may be karmically significant. These kind of foreign travels or these kind of pilgrimages, they may give a kind of spiritual transformation to the native, having Ketu in the 9th house. Right? He would go to some other country, long way, and then he would be spiritually transformed because Ketu is in the 9th house. And there is another possibility that he would visit some some temple or somewhere, long way, and then he would be transformed. His belief system, he would actually get something. Right? We use a term called Jnanodaya in this Vedic philosophy. The person would get kind of realization, right, about his belief system and all. Everything would change by visiting so and so temple or so and so place or something, a long distance place basically. And there is another possibility that the native may visit sacred places unexpectedly or due to some unseen forces. Suddenly someday he would feel like, okay, let's go to Kashi, or let's go and visit so and so Jyotirlinga somewhere, or let's go and visit Kamakhya temple, or let's go and visit some Bagalamukhi temple somewhere, or let's go and visit some Ma Durga temple somewhere, let's go and visit some Vishnu temple somewhere. This kind of sudden, kind of unexpectedly, or due to some kind of unseen forces, he would be traveling to some sacred places as well. That is another possibility. And another possibility is the native may travel. The travel of the native may happen very, very suddenly, because Ketu is the indication of sudden events. So travel may happen very much suddenly through loss or a spiritual quest, right? Suddenly he would be losing something in the life, right? And then he wants to travel, right? Because 9th house indicates travel. That is another possibility. And another important thing is relationship with father and gurus. Because Ketu is in the 9th house, it indicates relationship with father. Because 9th house is the mutual relationship with father and gurus as well. So it's a bit complicated. Or karmic relationship with father or the mentors or teachers would be indicated, because Ketu in the ninth house would give a kind of complicated relationship with father generally. But if the ninth lord is somewhere very nicely placed, you can say that impact would be reduced. And now you can say what kind of complicated relation, the kind of absent, the relationship is absent, or a kind of spiritually inclined, or with his father he would go to some spiritual places, right, together, or he would be disconnected with father. This is also possible. And there is another possibility that his gurus may come in unusual forms, or suddenly he would find you know some person, let us say his age is, let us say, 30, and but the person means the native age is 30, and the other person's age is, let us say, 22. He may find the 22 person as a kind of guru. So the kind of, I'm just trying to bring some unusuality here. Or is also possible that there would be a beggar, and this person would be finding that beggar as his guru. Gurus may come in unusual forms. I want to bring that here, right? Bring that point here. Or with Guru, the trust may be broken. His trust on Guru may be broken, because these are the free thinkers, right? So they think that, okay, there's no Guru for me, because no Guru can, really give me some knowledge. I'm fed up. I don't want any Guru. I'm a free thinker. So with gurus, trust may be broken. That is also possible as another possibility. Another important possibility is the native must learn to develop inner guidance and become their own guru, right? Because they may not have some much interest in gurus also sometimes, because I told you, right? Because the trust may be broken, because they may not find anything. See how much, based on how much rebel, is entirely depending upon the placement of the sign lord, and also where Ketu is placed, the sign lord in which nakshatra it is placed, the dignity of the sign lord, and also the Ketu where in the ninth house in which nakshatra it is present. So based on that also, how much rebellism towards the spirituality and all the person would show, that is indicated, or how much inclination is shown is also indicated. Generally these are free thinkers. And if you talk about the karmic influence, as Ketu is a karmic planet, so in the ninth house it indicates past life involvement in religious institutions, temples, or all this religious beliefs and all this stuff, because the person would definitely, he in the past birth he definitely walked on this, in this religion or belief system or temple or all these things. Definitely he might have worked on these things in the past life, right? That is an important possibility. That's why Ketu is sitting in his ninth house in this birth. And now in this birth the soul is tired of rigid belief system, rigid dogma, rigid nonsense, I can say. He would feel all this nonsense, the rigid systems. And he seeks freedom and direct connection to the divine. I don't want any guru, I don't want anything, I don't want all this bookish, all this jargons, all this nonsense. And I just want to connect with the God direct. I want the truth. I'm here to seek the truth, not this unnecessary rules and all. I don't believe that rules or religion or something would connect me to the divine. I don't believe that. I want the real truth. I want to connect to the divine. That is the kind of approach they follow. And how much rebellism they show in this attitude, how much the harsh the attitude would be, depends upon the placement of the Ketu in the ninth house, and also the ninth lord, the sign lord's placement as well. So, and in order to align the energies here, the native must develop faith without dependence on outer structures. because anyways Ketu is in the ninth house. So better the advice is, do not read any religious books, do not go to any guru, think on your own, observe the real stuff. Like in Sanatana Dharma, there are some real things that are, that people would experience, and they really find that yes, there is God, yes, we can connect with the forces in the universe. So this happens, there is some life, which can show real spiritual lessons. So better they try to go in that way, instead of just following some bluff gurus and the books and all this stuff. Anyways, they may lose interest on all these things very early. They really want the truth, right? Better they directly connect with, better they directly connect with the divine forces. Let's They follow, again, if I say following some kind of Ashtanga yoga marga or some kind of Kundalini awakening or all this, they may not be interested in the rules also, right? Because they might have done all this in the previous life itself. So they are the free thinkers, but they are able to, how much ability they would have, you know, to find the real spiritual lessons or to find the connection with divine, how much possibility would be present is entirely depending upon the Ketu's placement in that particular nakshatra, and also in the ninth house, the Lord's placement. If the ninth Lord placement is somewhere in the Vishakha nakshatra or somewhere uh, in the, let us say in the Vishakha nakshatra, he would be obsessed about this all. And let us say ninth Lord is in the Jyeshtha nakshatra, then the person, this particular, this one, the travel, right? It could be very, he can do kind of the search to the divine, he would do with a lot of intelligence, with a lot of logic, right? That can go a bit softer. But let us say it is in the nakshatra Purva Bhadrapada, then it is a bit frictional. Finding the real truth can be a bit frictional. He would follow some unconventional approaches also. If the ninth Lord is present in the Purva Bhadrapada nakshatra, that is going to nourish this particular Ketu. So the person would follow some unusual approaches to seek the truth, right? And if it is placed in, let us say, in a gentle nakshatra, let us say ninth Lord is placed in the Rohini nakshatra, he would find the resources very gently. He would find the resources how to find the real truth. It would be very, very, normal level. It's a kind of normal path, you can say, right? So the nature, we need to observe the nature of the, nature and dignity of the planet, right, where it is sitting and all. And also Ketu, in which nakshatra it is placed. Ketu, if it is placed in the moon nakshatra, it's kind of chaotic, right? Ketu's effect and moon's impact. Ketu and moon are a bit, they do not gel easily with each other, so kind of frictional. You can observe the path would be kind of frictional. The thinking towards this faith and belief system would be a kind of frictionally. They would avoid, with some harshness, they would avoid some kind of frictional approaches seen in this particular area that we talked about, right, so far. Now you need to understand if your Ketu is positive or negative. How can you understand? See, if you have some deep spiritual insight and intuition, and you are able to master the mystical subjects and philosophy, right, then yes, your Ketu is working very, very positively for you. Ketu in the ninth house is working very positively. And especially if you have gains through your pilgrimage or your spiritual growth, as you're spiritually growing, you're seeing some gains in your personal life, you're actually enjoying that travel, then yes, your Ketu is working very positively. And if you're a very powerful seeker of the truth, right, then yes, Ketu in the ninth house is working correctly for you. It's working the positively, very very positive. It's working on his purpose, I can say that. So when it is negative, how it would be, the people would be rebellious against teachers or belief systems. If somebody talks about religion, they hate it. They talk very harshly against them. This is all Ketu in the ninth house, the negative Ketu, I'm telling you. Because when you're rebellious against your teachers, or rebellious against some religious or belief system, then you would become enemy of that particular group. Then there would be some frictional life in your whole life. You'd have some frictional days in your life. Then definitely that's a kind of negative impact on your life, on your peace, right? That's it. So your Ketu is negative. So Ketu in the ninth house, if it is working negatively, you would lose interest in higher studies, or you would lose interest in some great gurus also. If some great guru is trying to teach you something, you would not listen. You would not listen to. You would not be interested in the higher studies as well. Right? What is the use of higher studies? What after doing PhD? What I can do after doing post graduation? What I can do? Anyways, I have to work for my life, right? I will work now itself. What is the use of this higher learning? So all these people are wasting time by doing this higher learning and all, right? And detachment from family, culture and traditions is also possible when Ketu is in the ninth house and it's working negatively for you. You're detached from your family, culture, your own tradition and all. You're detached. Then yes, your Ketu is working negatively. And even you have a lot of confusion in values and ethics, and with your father, the mutual relationship is not so working well. Then yes, your Ketu is working negatively, and you have to do propitiations. And I want to tell you, in Sanatana Dharma, there are some principles and rules. By following them only, you would be in a path of realization, in a path of connection to God, right? Connecting to God. So, as Ketu is in your ninth house, you would not believe all of them, and you are a free thinker, then there is no way. See, most of the times when you find a real guru, then only you can get some higher learning, and you can have some divine connection through that knowledge. That knowledge is very much important, right? So if you're not interested in all this belief systems and all, those over the time they are made as belief systems, but before that they were actually the paths to the divine. But now they made as some religions or some belief systems or some rigid rules and all. But they are also somewhere with them only you can achieve some higher learning and higher wisdom. I'm not talking about all the silly rules, but the gurus. If some guru is teaching you, to know the truth, this is the, let us say, Ashtanga Yoga Marga. They're telling you, and you in the initial days itself, if you start hating it, then yes, you cannot see God. You cannot see the higher dimensions of the nature or higher dimensions of the universe. And somebody is telling you to go by Kundalini awakening, or you found a very good guru who can teach you this Kundalini and the process and make you understand it, and they're making you to do it every day on daily basis, and so that you would have that bliss. Or somebody is teaching you to do some meditation and all the techniques in the meditation to seek the higher wisdom and the truth. And if you're not following those rules, then obviously, so you may not get them. You may not get the higher wisdom. You might be following them in your previous birth, but you could not be able to get the higher wisdom through them, right? You might have practiced some religion in your previous birth, but that religion or something might not have given you the higher wisdom, or it it did not give you the way to seek the real truth. Then, you know, you might have followed it for a long time in your previous birth, but now if you're completely hating it, then there is no way that you can seek the truth or you can connect to the divine, right? So better you come out of that completely hating the rules and all. You better you come out of that. Better you see, you observe. Of course, if Ketu is working positively, you do that only. You may follow yoga and you try to understand the real essence. You may follow Ashtanga Yoga Marga, but you see the real essence. This is one of the beautiful qualities when Ketu is sitting in the ninth house. You would see the real essence of it. That's a bit good, but understand how the real energy flow is happening and manifesting your thoughts, right? And your thoughts are able to make you to go through that path very clearly or not. You need to observe, right? So that is it. And the remedies for Ketu in the ninth house when it is working negatively for you: chant Ketu mantra every day 108 times, and worship Lord Ganesha or Lord Dattatreya every day without fail, and do selfless service. Selfless service is not expecting anything. You're not going to take pride by doing some service to the poor people, right? Or you're not seeking any identity also by doing the service to the old people or poor people, right? So that is selfless service. You're not expecting anything, you're just doing the service, right? You can serve in the temples, you can try to serve in the old age homes or any spiritual centers, or any for any spiritual cause also. You try to serve the poor people or the old people, right? Then yes, your Ketu would be working positively for you, and then you will seek the divine connection for sure. You avoid criticizing any religious belief of others. Ketu in the ninth house, if it is working negatively, definitely you would try to, mock at other religions or your own religion or whatever. You would be mocking at religious beliefs, right? So better avoid criticizing, other religious uh, beliefs and all, or religious beliefs of others, right? Better avoid criticizing. And another important thing is visit spiritual pilgrimage places with some kind of humility. Do not take any kind of pride by visiting the so and so spiritual place and all. You try to visit them and understand, observe. That is one way of you to come down, or calm down your energies, I can say, so that uh, you can come down in your aggression or harshness related to this belief system or religion and all, right? So you donate gray colored clothes or sesame seeds or books to students or monks. That is one of the best things that you can do. Any kind of some kind of spiritual books or any kind of book you can donate to students, or spiritual books to monks and all. And the best thing is donating sesame seeds and gray colored clothes to the poor people, right? That's the best thing that you can do, so that your Ketu in the ninth house would come down, and it will make your relationship with your father also better, and your harsh frictional things related to belief system, ethics and all would come down. And even if you suffer, if you're if you're getting some problems or obstacles in your higher learning, higher studies like post graduation and PhD, by doing all these remedies, yes, your higher education would be completed, without fail, without obstacles. You would feel better and comfortable. So basically, it's a it's a kind of karmic, right? It's a karmic connection, right? So another important thing that I want to tell you is, let go of blind belief, right? Is your main motive, and that is very good. That is very uh, good thing. And if your Ketu is working positively, yes, I would always suggest you walk your own path without rejecting guidance entirely. Take some guidance, but do not follow it blindly. Walk your own path. You would be the great spiritual force in the world, you know. And do not reject guidance from spiritual teachers, spiritual mentors. Do not reject guidance entirely. Take some guidance, understand it, understand, think, observe, and if they have some essence, yes, you better follow them, right? So you might be having some kind of universal philosophy, but yes, the philosophy taught by some spiritual leaders would have some essence. Observe it. And Ketu in the ninth house creates a very good native, also has that native having some deep karmic experiences with religion, father, mentors, and all, if it is working positively. So it's blessed with spiritual luck. You're blessed with spiritual luck, I would say. Just let go of your ego, pride, and all these things, then you'd be very good in your life, right? So follow this remedies I talked about. When Ketu is in the ninth house, if it is working negatively, follow those remedies and everything would go fine in your life. This is not a very problematic thing unless it is your ninth lord is somewhere debilitated and your Ketu is in a very problematic nakshatra, right? Unless that, it's a fine position, it's fine, right? So that's it. Enjoy your life. Thanks for watching this video.